the video, so I can't go through it. So,
Okay.
but we are live. We'll give a minute or two, and I'm gonna make sure everything's up and running on the YouTube. So, kind of like on the TV, like the elderly folks say on the TV. No, we say it on you're on the telly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, somebody's phone just went off.
It's probably mine. Saying we're live.
Yep. Yep. So Dave's wife's already been on. She commented already. So thank you. She was our first commenter of the day. And Charles,
she's trying to earn herself another free game. And I'm sure Dave has been telling her that I've got this nice dual pack of Tank Duel just sitting here waiting to give away.
I already have it.
Oh, did you pick that one up too?
Yeah.
Couldn't wait on the freebie, huh?
If you'd watched my open box, you would have seen that.
Ooh, calling you out. Hey, so we got Charles.
I saw it, Dave. Don't worry. Charles.
Ron's on here. Private Public's on here. Kyle, William. It's good to see everybody. We'll have a few people probably migrating over after the lock and load finishes up. Yeah, well, they Devin messaged me just to let me know that they're going on at 3 today, 3 my time. I said, that's fine. You could just send me a free copy of a game and I'll be happy. He laughed. I don't know if that was a yes or not.
No, that means he laughed and walked away.
So I said, no worries. I go, you guys, they'll come on. Mike's in. So Mike and me have been communicating about Mr. President. They're almost getting to the point where it's getting good. We're almost like getting that narrowed down. He's getting that narrowed down. I'm not doing anything. I'm just waiting for the updated tabletop simulator module to get done. So that way. So. And Ruff, you're feeling pretty good because if you guys didn't know, he actually met somebody famous today. Unlike, he's on this show and is rattling us. He actually met a proper YouTuber today.
Yeah, I went out and met the Blue Tweezers. As you know, we'll be doing some stuff together on a sort of Wednesday and Sunday sometimes with you guys. And we went down to London. Me and the missus went down to London. We met him and his missus. We went and had something to eat in the Doggett. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called now.
It's a great name. It's a great name for pubs, yeah.
On the River Thames by Blackfriars Bridge. So we walked across Blackfriars Bridge across the Thames to get to it. And it was great. Great to meet him. Even though, I see him most weeks, it was great to actually meet a YouTuber, my first proper YouTuber in the flesh, so to speak. So once all this nonsense is over, and air flights prices drop again, I'll come in over to bother you lot.
We'll figure out where we're going to meet, and we'll do the War Room live together as one. We're already doing it live, but in person. There we go.
WBC one year if I can. So
yeah, that would be cool to head up to that for sure. So
it was great, Carl. It was great to meet him, and he's missing.
And we do have, of course, Dave here today. So thanks for joining us, Dave.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
No,
hey, it's great. It's you did a great job on last time, and Ruff's like, let's have Dave back on. And so I said, great. I like Dave. Dave's got great stories, and so that's
gestures shaking.
Well, originally, Jester may not have actually been here, but as you can tell, he is from his undisclosed location at home. Because secret undisclosed location. Yes. So, so what? So, do you want to say what happened, or how you've had some very unlucky?
As you guys know, I was supposed to be gone this week. And we're supposed to fly out Tuesday to go to Lake Tahoe and spend the week there and then fly home next week. We got a text from the people that live out in California. The news report showed that Lake Tahoe was getting a blizzard Tuesday night, up to 10 feet of snow in the area. So we decided we don't want to get snowed in the airport for 5 days and not be able to do anything and have like people without power and everything else. So we decided not to go. So
Probably
kind of a bummer, real bad bummer, but
yeah.
I mean, they had the people we were meeting were driving over there. We didn't feel safe letting them drive through a blizzard to get over there. So we just decided.
Well, you got some racing done at least, you know. Hey, you know.
I got a lot of good racing in, so that was awesome.
What's he racing? Tanks? Is it tanks across the Russian steppe? Is it looking for those darn Germans in their Tigers? No?
No.
No.
Sorry, Rob. So it's been kind of a productive week for me. I've actually got quite a bit out. You know, my parents were in town for 2 weeks, and it's a little hard to video. I could do it, but it's just a little hard. So I usually kind of slough off, and you know, I won't produce anything. But then I usually come back with a pretty rough or pretty heavy time. So folks, vote for Ruff to be no enemies here, Grognard of the year. I also voted for you, Ruff. I will tell you that. Yes, I did.
I'm not a grognard. I'm a guy that just plays games and enjoys it. I'm not a grognard. I know nothing about, you know.
Well, did you hear his rant today? He's like, people are too serious about this hobby. It's like people need to enjoy it and realize it's a game and it's fun.
Some people are very competitive and like to play a bit anally, and that's how they enjoy it. So I can understand it, you know. But me, I ain't got a clue what I'm doing.
Yeah, and Jester is probably a good thing. We didn't want the Donna party to happen again as they're crossing the blizzard. So that was probably a nice thing. Bo's here, so hi, Bo.
Hi.
So what have you been doing, Ruff?
What have I been doing? Well, apart from going out and getting been on the lash with the blue tweezers, I've been carrying on doing this. It's a bit of a lost cause, as you noticed earlier, Tony. This game, this is Thatcher's War, but it's not gonna happen. What I'll do is, I'm in the process of videoing it. I'm gonna make it. Might be a longer video, but it will be a yay or a nay conclusion, and it looks like it's going to be. Who knows? But cracking game. I would highly recommend this game if you want a solo game. It's the Falklands War, but it's great. It's made me want to look at his other games like Don't Tread on Me and White Tribe and all that sort of thing. So I haven't. That's all I've been doing. A couple of unboxings for Panzer. I've videoed, and I've received my little laser thing.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. So I've got that for when I do looking more professional as I go. And I got this. We were all talking about Panzer Grenadier, and I found this online and bought Beyond Normandy. 44 scenarios, 500 and something counters. It was unpunched. Cost me about 30 quid. About $38, I suppose.
Yeah.
I love. We're all big fans here. I think. You know, us three. Dave hasn't played it. We'll convert him. Don't worry. But yeah, I love it. But it is a hard game to video because, as you know, guys, they are long scenarios. There's one in there that has 62 turns. Ooh. So you know,
and about a bazillion counters too.
Yeah, and you just sit there and you play it. You know, it's got to be left up. It's as I said before, it's a game, Dave. If you don't know it, instead of rolling dice, Nations of War we all love as well, and that's just a dice fest. Throw the dice and see what happens. This one you have to sort of chip away at your opponent. So in some ways, it's more realistic in certain aspects because you have to chip away, demoralize them, get them down, and then assault them, and that takes time, as it does in real life, I suspect. So it's a bit like that. So it can take a while, but it's a cracking game. Really good game. Great line of sight rules. Quite complex, aren't they, Jester? The line of sight rules. They're different.
They can do. Well, their line of sight with hills is a little bit different, but I think it's the best system out there for a line of sight with hills.
Yeah.
So
and just generally, it's good, and you can see where, again, with my limited knowledge, some things have been nicked from other things, and I can see some other games taking some of that from and putting it in another game. You can see it all, can't you? Oh
Now, Dave, I noticed you've been doing some silent running, some silent victory here.
I hate the early years. The torpedoes suck.
They do, don't they?
you got a lot of duds, did you?
Oh my God! On a 6-sided die, 1 to 4 is a dud. So until you get into 42, midway through 42, and then it drops to 50%, which is where I'm at now. So
I think they're worse torpedoes than the hunted. Aren't they?
They're horrible. They're horrible. At one time I had 4 hits and 4 duds.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah.
You can imagine in the ship and going,
yeah.
Can you hear something? What's that noise?
Ding,
ding dong, ding dang.
Yeah, and I've actually been reading the Pacific Crucible, which was Ian Toll wrote that, and I just finished the first volume of that. And he talked quite a bit about the dead torpedoes and how bad they were. So it suits that, it's not something they just made up. It was a real problem. So
yeah, it's interesting about this Silent Victory, because I have that one and I have the Hunters. Is with Silent Victory, you're surviving early to get to the end. While with the Hunters, you start off really good, and then you're just surviving at the end. Yeah. It's kind of flip flopped. Yeah, which is really interesting to see that. And so, and I see you've been playing a little Tank Duel. You got the North Africa out there, so
yeah. So I did the base game, and then of course the North Africa expansion that my wife won for me from your show. And then I added the Tank Pack 1. So when I did the North Africa, I also had Tank Pack 1 in there. So, and I do a lot of, when I play, especially solitaire games, I do a lot of random things, right? So that I don't stack the deck necessarily. So I even draw the tanks randomly. I found out what they are, then I rolled a dice, see which tanks I'd face, which tanks I got. So, and then you play the hands you got. So it was funny. I actually drew Tank Pack 1 tanks in North Africa, and then I got 1 tank from the Eastern Front that also showed up in there for the Germans. So it made a nice. I got to use all the tanks from all the different packs for the game. But Mike was correcting me and helping me as we played. I mean, it was like when I got into North Africa, it was like play that, day later look at the comments, there'd be like 9 comments there, but it really helped. And I know that one of my viewers was reading the comments too, because Mike said, I can stop commenting, and the viewer went, no, don't do that. This is how we all learn.
Yeah, that's I was talking to Mike. Yeah, I was talking to Mike, and we're thinking about doing a tutorial, me and him versus the Robota, to kind of give, since he designed it and developed it, to help out people, because trying to learn a solo game on your own, sometimes it's really hard. So,
and the more he commented, the more it helped me. I think, he says I did great. Thanks, Mike. The more he commented, the more I grasped things, right? And then I saw things I was forgetting to do. So it really helped with the comments. When you first read them, you're like, oh my God, I made so many mistakes. But they were a lot of little things, And then in North Africa, you got to deal with the dust and the wind blowing and the movement dust and all this other stuff. And it made it hard to get a kill. It really obscures. And I could see that, the thing I liked about it, it made me feel like I was there in that desert warfare type, with the targets being obscured and all those things.
Yeah, it's like any game, isn't it? But it's great if the designer or somebody that's really knowledgeable about the game comes on and starts commenting. It helps everyone. I encourage it greatly.
Yeah.
And Dave David, yeah, we left the Rubber Dub after having a few pigs and got back safely. So Rubber Dub is the pub, and Pig's Ears are beers. So it's quite good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Heath Willis had a good point.
Yep.
Yeah, never.
Absolutely. I mean, I love it when people either question why I did something, and some of the games I'm learning as I play too. So my strategy is not always the best either, but Tank Duel, I would like to play that with somebody, I probably would have done a ton better with the Robota if I'd have played it as a 2-player or 3-player game before that and then moved into Robota. But in my situation, I had to start right out with the Robota. So, it worked.
I know my family's plans is to be over there in the Finger Lakes region this summer. So maybe we can meet up and we can play or something like that. That'd be kind of fun to do. So
yeah, that'd be good.
I'll let you know when I know for sure, but we like to go there about every other year and we missed. So
cool. That'd be good.
Yes, Dennis, you will be getting a detention for being late.
See me after the lesson. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't want to distract from now. So, Jester, of course you were planning, so you've been playing the racing. Have you gotten anything recently in, or are you?
Just last week I got the. Where is it? It's right here somewhere. I got the new Standard Combat Series, North Africa.
Oh, the North Africa one?
Oh, yeah, that's a biggie. You bought another blooming big one, Chester.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smaller scenarios on that, I think.
No, there's not.
And so I was going to do I see it's on the shrink, right? Because I'm, so I was going to do a live unboxing, but like literally everybody and their brother's done one now.
Doesn't matter.
I think Big Board did one. Wardrobe did one. I think there's like 4 people that I've seen. I'm like, well, I guess I won't be doing a live unboxing for you guys
do one because I like to. I'm talking personally here. A lot of people don't like unboxings, and I get that. But when I do an unboxing, I get like 300, 400, 500 views, and you think, well, it must be some people like them. I love them, and I will watch different unboxings of the same game because you get a different viewpoint from their unboxing. Some people go into this part, some people do concentrate on that. So I don't mind them. So do one. Yeah.
We'll see. I kind of, after I saw the unboxings, I kind of went, oh, damn.
Do one.
This, as Tony just said, I did not realize this is going to be a 4-map game.
Yeah, it's a biggie. Which is why I'm going, shall I get it? Oh, Dave, by the way, I don't know if you've seen it before. I've got a bone to pick with you. You blooming.
Yeah, how was that?
It looks great. And I mean, you don't need them, but you can print off the counters. I know there's loads of them on Amazon, and I'm thinking,
yeah, I took this one to the hotel with me at Thanksgiving when we traveled back home, and I started playing it. It's a dice game, right?
Yeah, same here.
And it's this is the Siege of Leningrad, and it's a logistics game. So you're just rolling about your logistics and your morale and things like that, and not a whole lot of decision, but it's a good way to pass some time when you're sitting somewhere and you don't need a whole bunch. You're not wanting to take board games with maps and everything else.
But it's got all the info about all the planes, all the bombers.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
And they've got Pearl Harbor in here, and there's stuff you can download from big what they call it, Board Game Geek.
Yep.
The maps for each scenario, so you can put the counters on and move. Yeah, this thing on there. $9.95.
Yeah, they're cheap.
They're great.
Yeah.
You rotter. I hate you.
You're welcome.
I haven't got into those. And Worthington's getting into them as well. They had the Bismarck one, and they just had, what was the one Waterloo? They just had Waterloo one.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was just released. I know. I keep getting, ever since I started I'll tell you what, I have been impressed with Worthington's quality in their games, in their boxes. I mean, the actual trays that all the stuff goes in are actually really good. It all fits. And
when I saw that,
I told you guys this like a year ago, and when I got
it was the Bulge 19.
Yeah.
Bulge
the
game.
Bulge and Holdfast.
Yeah.
Tunisia.
Yeah.
Cool, great quality, super components. But I did want to say this before after Ruff interrupted me. To be fair, I didn't order anything because I wasn't planning on being here this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, don't want to order anything and have it sit on the front porch for a week and a half, when I was gone. So
Yeah. So are you making up for it? Have you ordered since?
actually, well, we were gonna go away, do a short weekend, and then we just a lot of stuff is already booked up and everything. So
Yeah.
we weren't sure if we were gonna be here or not. So we're just trying to make the best of it. So
John Halley's going to play this.
yeah.
Yep.
I
got
keep
that
wanting to do that. Yeah. You can pick this up really cheap if you want to.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yep. For sure. And you can always
You
get the
haven't played
updated
any
rules.
SCS on your channel, Ruff?
I haven't. Chris Ridley kept pestering me. When are you going to play Africa, Ruff? When are you going to play Africa? I said, I will. And you just the best laid plans of mice and men,
You can put it on your list next year for the top 10 games you're going to be playing.
Not doing one of them again.
Oh, yes, we are.
No, terrible.
Oh,
Terrible.
yes, we are.
Don't work.
It's Worthington Publishing is the company we were talking about.
That unboxing you did of Into the Fire, I thought, 2 mounted balls. I know it's not a big footprint, but the cards, linen finish, the tray, the counter tray,
yeah.
I want that.
Yeah, it's the card. I was a little disappointed with the thinness of the cards. I'll have to definitely sleeve those. But once you sleeve them, they'll be fine. So it's not. It's not a big deal.
The backs look the same on the cards.
Yes, yeah. All the backs look the same. Yeah.
Who was talking about that the other day about the colours being different about their cards? They said there were some issues, but we're having them reprinted and we're sending them out to you. I can't remember what company it was. They had the same issue. And they went, sorry, we're getting them done again.
Wasn't it GMT or no? They did something else.
No, that was Panzer. They're redoing
Panzer, yeah.
I can't. Anyway, they were saying, don't worry, we're having them printed and we'll send them.
It's Minden Games, right?
Yeah, we did it right there.
That's it. They're on Amazon.
Yeah, you can get them on Amazon.
Yeah. I've got that one as well. They got loads. They got loads of these sort of solitaire ones and some 2-player ones.
Yeah, they were originally, I think, published like in a magazine, and then so there's about 4 in that series, I think, right now, and one of them that they have has 3 games in the book. So.
Yeah, there's 3 there. I saw that. Do I get that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys a question because this kind of relates to our topic for the day. I don't know, Tony, if you talked about that yet.
Have not, but go ahead.
So, how would you guys, just in general terms, and I was just thinking of this when Dave was talking, how would you rate this year with your wargaming experience compared to other years? How would you rate it? As more positive, less positive, about the same? Did you do more or less than normal? What would you say was the outcome for your? Because I mean, sure, we got like 2 weeks left of the year, but I mean, pretty much for the year's over, right? So, how would you guys rate it as amount of games you picked up, played, more or less games in other years, and your quality of your investment? High, low, or medium, or how would you rate it?
Oh, I would say it was. I've played more this year. I bought more this year, more than I could ever play. But I definitely would say that I got more into it this year, and I'm starting to get into a little bit more of the crunchier games, and they're starting to make sense a little bit quicker. So I expect to keep going. I mean, I'm currently doing the No Question of Surrender, the GTS. And I'll tell you what, other than a few things that I got to remember, which are smaller things, and I caught them when I was filming, and I fixed them right away. It was really a really good experience for just one turn so far, and I'm really going to enjoy that. So I think overall it was a positive. There's a lot of good stuff that came out this year. A lot of good games that actually came out this year. A lot of the smaller companies put out some really top-notch stuff this year for sure.
What would you say, Rolf?
Well, this is the start of my 3rd year of doing this malarkey, and last year I enjoyed it, but this year I haven't done as much as I did in my sort of first year, if you like. I was churning them out because you were giving me encouragement, Jester, saying, yeah, more is more, and I was trying to churn them out, and I was enjoying it. This year I haven't been able to churn out as many as, and when I say churn, I mean, it sounds like I'm just, not making any effort with them, but this year, because of what's happened with the thing, weirdly I've had less time because everybody's been at home, and I haven't been able to video as much. So not as much videos, but I've enjoyed it this second year more than last year, because I've got to know more people. I'm more comfortable with what I do now. I've certainly bought more games than last year. If you look at the shelf on the old war room, as you go through, it starts with 3 games, and it gets a bit bigger, and then a bit. And then this year I've got no room, so certainly more games. I haven't put out as much, which is a bit of a disappointment. So next year I'm hoping to do back to get into a routine and put some more out.
Well, Ruff, I will say, to give you a little bit of credit here, is that you actually put out a little bit more crunchier games that took a little bit longer. You did, Across the Boog, and some other games that actually took quite a bit longer to put out. While earlier you were doing like Warfighter, where you could do that in basically one session.
One or two videos.
So you kind of look at it that way. You may have not put out as much, but you spent probably more time playing than you did the year before. I don't know. You edit, and apparently, according to the missus, your editing goes.
What about you, Dave? What do you think?
Well, this was my first year with Dave's Gaming Cave, so and I started it back in, I don't know, February or March, somewhere in there. But for me, I definitely acquired more games, but some of the games that I was playing I already had, because they were all new, just like Silent Victory. I had that, a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, but I'm just now shooting my video for it. So some of them, I kind of use them as fillers when I don't have a new game to do or something. So, and then, but I think for me, it's been having the YouTube channel has caused me to play on a more regular basis, right? Because I'm trying to do, have my videos. So I have something every week. And so that can be a challenge sometimes too, when you're trying to fill that, because, I know I look at other channels, some of the guys have probably been around a while, and sometimes they don't put things out for 3 or 4 months. And then all of a sudden, they put out a video and there they go. But I feel like, I like playing the games, and it's my hobby. So, I enjoy playing it. I like doing it. And that's why I do it. It's because I enjoy that. I'm a war gamer from when I was a kid, playing Squad Leader and Rick Tofen's War and stuff like that with my dad. So, I grew up doing that stuff. Now it's my opportunity to do this. And I've even got my son, he's got a few games now we've been getting for him, and getting him into the solitaire too.
Well, for me, of course, I got to be different than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that sometimes it works out that way, sometimes it doesn't. For me, this has been the worst wargaming year, believe it or not. Yeah, I know. But, when you look at it as a whole, we had the big catastrophe with DVG that started the year off, right? Some of the games that I chose to play this year, I wasn't a big fan of. I played D-Day at Omaha Beach. I played. I was just looking through some of the games on my channel. Field Commander Napoleon. I didn't enjoy that either. For me, it just, I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but it was just not a great year all the way around. With the games I chose to play, the time that I did spend playing them, I didn't have as much fun. And then some of the quality and some of the...
Not at the moment, though, Private?
Well, I mean, that's good. I mean,
well, like most of us, every time we've talked to designers, and Herman was definitely one of them. Most of us war gamers play other games as well too. So I mean, I've got sports games, I've got fantasy games and stuff like that I love playing as well.
But as Public said, Jester plays loads of different games, and I'm afraid he's cost me a lot of money. It's yeah. So
I spend a lot of time on other games as well. So I mean, I kind of go in cycles. I do a little bit of this and then get bored of it and go on to something else.
Yeah.
But I always have something going on. So
well, what's interesting, Jesters, I found you right when you decided to do all wargaming.
Yeah, same here.
You were like, okay, I'm going to back away from all the sports gaming. You sold all your sports stuff, or a lot of it, and then it incessantly bought it all back again. But
some of it.
But I was like, I was interesting that you said that, because I was like, you don't really need to focus on one, because I think you get bored of it if you do it too often. That's why playing different games, easier games, lighter games, filler games, like you said, Dave, sometimes actually helps out and keeps your interest in. When
you've done a Crunchyroll thing or a long series or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think again, it's not. It's hard when you're, when you're dissecting it, right? If we dissect the whole year as a whole, and you start looking at all the little pieces, like some of it was the choices that I made, right? Which game I was going to get out and play. I had several other games that I spent time getting out, putting on my table. I don't know how many times this year, because I swore I was going to play Path of Glory, whether it killed me or not. I must have had that on my table 3 times, set up and ready to play, and I never got around to playing it. So, I mean, that was kind of a bummer too, because I was like, oh, I wasted all that time, It's like, and some of it's my setup, I don't have a lot of space.
Yeah, you can't leave stuff up.
I'm lucky. I could just, this is down the other end of the lounge, as and I can just leave that up. That's mine.
Right.
The missus she puts up with a lot.
And the DVG thing put a bad taste in my mouth, because every time they're right there on the shelf too. Right there they are. Every time I look at them, I just want to throw them in the trash can. But I'm like, that's $350. I don't want to do that.
Can't you put them into colored sleeves?
I mean, we talked about that. You can do things to get by it, but it's just the whole attitude of we don't care about our customers, like I said, I was just looking through it. I mean, I got a lot of good games in, but I didn't play the ones. I mean, I was looking forward to Command and Color Samurai Battles, right? Pre-ordered it, got it in. It's been sitting on my shelf doing nothing. This one, North Africa. Oh, yeah, another, standard combat series game. I love that. But now I find out it's 4 maps, and I'm like, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to just send it to Dave, I guess.
Yeah. I got lots of table space.
Yeah, then there was the Algiers thing. Right. Thanks, Fred.
Yeah. Never let him forget, because he always brings up Rommel. But I've got to be thankful to you, Jess, because, I came across you when you were doing your lock and load tactical, going through the 5.0 rules when they came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That's where I came across you. And then as I got to know, you're the guy that got me into Panzer Grenadier.
Right.
And you're the guy that's cost me tons on bloody Shadows of Brimstone. So I've got a lot to thank you for.
You do. You got a lot to thank me for.
Yeah, and
right.
Your diversity. That's what I used to love about your channel. You were diverse. You'd play a war game, then you'd play, and I go, "Oh, do I like the look of that?" And go back and change all the time. So I know you haven't been happy because you're trying to run over old people in your car now on the video, and I know you're not happy. So little old ladies, people in wheelchairs, off you go. So I know you're not.
I'm having fun doing it. It is, as a YouTuber, part of the issue, right? Is setting everything up, getting the lighting and everything ready to go. You don't have to worry about that when you're doing broadcasting a computer game because it's already, on the screen. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. So I actually reinstalled like all my war games on Steam, thinking, well, I could probably play some of those as well, not have to take up the space, and then we're doing the Vassal thing, which worked out pretty good.
That's where you have that Africa game, but I'll tell you what, there'll be a Vassal module of it, and just do it. You do it on Vassal. I mean, literally.
Why did I even bother ordering this thing?
Because you should order it. You should have it.
The Africa rules for it, not the Africa rules.
Yeah, and the scenarios and stuff. I mean, yeah. So real quick before we get too far, because I want to give everybody a chance. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the top 5 games we played this year. They could be old games, but whatever. But what I wanted to do is I want to throw it out to the chat as well. And I've got my email address on there. So if next, 15, 20 minutes, you can just jot down your top 5 and send them to me. I'll put them up.
Do you want them in order? Like they're most...
Nah, just top 5. Yeah. I don't put them in like this is my top one because sometimes that's hard to do. And so, but so I mean I've got 6 games listed here, so I've got to figure out which one I want to kick off. But and I actually did a game that was on my list today that was on my list for the top 10 that I was going to play this year. I played one session of it and said, nope, I'm not going to do it. So it just wasn't for me. So I get that. That was the VCS Salerno. Variable combat system.
Yeah, that's had a lot of stick, isn't it? It had great potential, they said, and yeah.
It was one of those things. I was just like, yep, nope, I'm not going to get into it.
Cody, when you're asking them about their top 5,
yep,
war-related games,
war-themed games.
Are you talking about just board games, or are you talking both board and computer? Or Vassal modules?
I would say that's okay. Vassal module, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's almost like with Lock and Load now, they're kind of taking that next step in doing like the Nations at War, digital Lock and Load tactical digital. So yeah, I definitely am up for that too as well. So we'll start talking about that about 10-15 minutes. So if you guys want to get those emailed to me, I'm doing good with that. I'm good with that. So, but it actually kind of got me thinking about a few things. And, so Dave, last time we had you on here, you had not done any Hex Encounter games, at least on your channel yet. After that, it was soon after that you did the P Ridge.
Yeah, I did the Battle Hymn. Yeah.
Yes. What did you think of that? How did that go over with you soloing that on the Hex Encounter?
I like that game. Because even though you're playing both sides, that type of game, it's kind of like it's easy for me to go from the Federal troops to the Confederate troops, right? Because you're working both strategies and you're still after the same objectives. So it's just, what can I do? How would the Confederates, if I played them, how did the Union do it? How do I want to divide this thing up and do that? And for me, that was a fairly easy game to learn. And the chip pool is what makes that solitaire system work. Yeah. And I know that later, I think it's like third quarter in 22, they're projecting for the next volume to come out. with Shiloh and that, and I'd be interested. And I think they're refining that system a little bit too. So I'm looking forward to that one. I still have to play Gettysburg. Of course, that's a really big battle, and the reason I took Pea Ridge because it was a smaller battle, but it was a good one to learn with. And they built. Each battle's got its own things, right? With Pea Ridge, the Confederates weren't as strong because they had more in number, but they weren't as strong because the reality was they had been on a long march coming into that battle, and so the fatigue was there. And I think they modeled that pretty good in the game. And I know, Ruff, I heard you say it. I think last time I was on, you weren't a big fan of the map, but I kind of like that old style map like that. It's a little harder to see because it's all green, right? It's real light, almost not green, right? And there's a light green and a darker green, and
I'm colorblind, and I said I think it reminds me of the Bonanza map. So, but yeah, I can see where they're coming from. It looks very contemporary. But, maybe it's just me. It's just
So
taking notes of me.
But
gameplay is important. Isn't it? The gameplay is an important thing.
Yeah, and for me, it played well, and and I agree. The gameplay is what's important. So.
Yeah, I was just kind of curious what you thought about, soloing Hex Encounter games, and that's a chip pull game, isn't it?
Yes.
So that makes soloing it a little bit easier because you don't know exactly.
You don't know when the combat's going to happen.
Yeah.
So the moves are happening because you pull the general out, right, or the brigade commander, and it's his group that's going to do their moving and setting up for whatever you're going to do for the combat. But you don't know if the very next turn that combat's going to happen before you get all your forces where you want them. So it puts a little pressure on you to you got to think ahead a little bit on where you're trying to get, but you got to realize if the combat's already happened, now you're working for the next turn. But if the combat hasn't happened yet, you're trying to get troops up there to give you the numbers, then, that's where it gets a little dicey sometimes. So it made it fun, right?
Yeah. It's and I kind of like the whole idea of this is the number of dice you roll and you get hits on these numbers. I kind of like those games anyways because they're very similar to the Nations at War and the World at War type games. And
throw them dice. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah. The more dice, the better. Yeah. Except for when you roll all ones, it's like you're playing Yahtzee, but with
And I like those sort of games. Sometimes in the mood for a bit of dice chucking, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And at other times you need something a little bit different. So yeah.
Okay, I've got people sending their stuff in, so I appreciate that.
Ooh.
So
they'll put it also in the chat as well. Watch out for that.
Yeah, I've got Braun. I see Braun over here. He's got his and everything like that. So, but no, so it's interesting because the more I get into the games, and I know I've got kind of a nice setup here. I have 2 tables. Thanks, Heath. Well, I got yours. I got 2 tables set up. But I still can't have more than at the most 2 maps set up. And with Jester pulling up that Africa, it kind of made me think, why do we get these games that are so big? And do we actually really get those played? How many people actually play these monster games?
It's rich people with sort of dedicated rooms. And just there's one guy, I forget who it is. He's got a basement that he's kitted out. And it's just like as big as my house, and it's just tables, just massive tables and shelves. I'm thinking
that's when I lived in Ohio.
Yeah,
I had a 20 by 22 foot room. Was the above Tony? You probably know what I'm talking about. It was above where the garage was.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the bonus room, the bonus
room. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was my room plus the base, half of the basement downstairs. I had so much room. I had tables everywhere. I built my own. Well, it was built for Dungeons and Dragons, but it was 6 by 8 foot table. I had plenty of room. I had plenty of space, and now I'm limited to 3 feet by 4 feet. That's what I get.
See, I bought these tables so I could either have them sort of. Thank you. I doubt it'll happen, but thank you. Bless you, Private. So I could have a couple of games out, but also another one, so I could put it this side and have a big map. Have maps that come from top to bottom, like Sixth Fleet and
the vertical maps.
Yeah,
the vertical portrait maps.
Yeah, and also to have a bigger map footprint, but because of lack of space and still haven't done the room upstairs, that's not going to happen. But that's why I got them. But yeah, that's fine at the moment.
Dave, you look like you're in a bonus room.
Yeah, I actually did a video on Veterans Day, and I did a tour of the room.
Yeah, rub it in is what I say, you guys. Rub it in. Yeah,
but yeah, it's about 600 square feet, and it's one side of the upstairs of the garage. Now the other side's an open room that's not heated or anything. So, but I have a slot car track over there, but I have 4 4x8 tables put together over there for that. So if I ever get a game that's really big, I can go over there and play it on that. So if I have to.
Nice.
Yeah. But, yeah, just crazy.
I mean, it's space, and then it's also not just space. It's keeping it up,
right,
out of the way, and not, I got a dining room, like literally behind this wall, there's a dining room table that's huge, but I can't just put my game out there for 2 months because where are we going to eat? What are we going to do?
Laps. Eat on your laps, watching the telly. Yeah, but I get you. I'm lucky I can just leave this out, you see. So,
yeah. Well, aren't you going to get the room upstairs eventually, Russ?
Yeah, eventually. That's the word. That's the word you have to concentrate on.
Do we need to have your wife on again so we can talk to her?
It's whatever. Yeah, it's just it's getting the stuff moved. I've got to sort this shelf out now because I'm out of space. So I've got to move things around. Oh, thanks, Mike. It ain't going to happen. I think they decided who it is. Just so I can get some stuff. So I've got to put more books away. Move the books down that are over there down. Oh, yeah. So when I've done that.
Well,
when I've done that, I'm gonna look it upstairs. Over to you, Tony.
Well, I was going to say, so the storage issue. So I was leading into that one. So, so William just said, he's kicking out his boys so he can have the room. So I was playing around with storage. Of course, most of us wargamers put our boxes like a book. Okay. So I did, and it's going to be hard to see, but if you see the top shelf right up in here.
Yeah.
So I took all my coin games, which filled that shelf from left to right with all of them. And I laid them flat.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it actually gave me, I can add like one more or two more horizontal or vertical and then one more left flat.
You come back in 6 months, they'll all be dished.
That's what I'm worried about. But those are GMT games, so those are the heavier boxes.
Time and weight. I thought about that, and the other problem is with the thinner boxes like GMT had a few years ago. When you put them upright, they tend to bow out. Mm-hmm. Like the weight like that, pushing the sides of the boxes out, so you can't win. I don't think. But I do like them like that. I've got some on their sides here because they're blooming big, like crowbar.
Oh, that's the lock and load stuff. You almost have to. So,
but I like them like that. They look cool. With their dirty washing, Mike. With their dirty washing.
So I've been trying to restructure to get more room for the boxes I do have. So I keep saying I'm going to have to stop, and I'm really going to have to stop buying stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got shelves. You can just see them here. They would be great for other games, but on there is all music manuscripts and all my music books and all that sort of thing. So, unless I say, that's it, put that away now, or sell them. There's just a whole shelf of classical guitar manuscripts in sort of, what do they call them, ones with the clip down things. They've got to be a certain size because classical manuscripts or music manuscripts tend to be not A4 or 11 by 7, whatever you've got, 11.5 by 7 or whatever it is. So they're taller. But yeah, I can get rid of all those, sell all those, and use that. But that's what I am. My music, that's all my music. That's what I do. It is. Do you stop buying? I mean, can we stop buying? That's maybe another subject for another.
Here's the best way to stop buying. Just pretend you're going on vacation the next week. Every week, you pretend like you're going on vacation the next week.
Yeah. See, my biggest downfall compared to buying games in my first year, as opposed to buying them in my second year, was I discovered P500 and second chance games. That was my downfall. And God help me if people like Compass and Worthington and all that decide to do a similar thing via second chance games over here. You'll be seeing me, in rags.
Well, did you see? I was going to send you this, and maybe I shouldn't have, and maybe it's too late already. I don't know, but Noble Knight had a special. What did they call it? I'm just trying to remember what they called it.
Sending stuff cheap to the UK weekend.
Yeah, it was a shipping. What do they call it? Foreign shipping discounted week or something like that. Yeah, for a limited time. I don't know if it's still going on or not. Let me look and I'll tell you.
All right, get it. But MMP did a similar thing as well, where they now do foreign shipping, but you've got to spend $655 on games before it kicks in. So not going to happen, is it?
No, this one was only 150.
Craig, that cracks me up.
Yeah, I mean, what a crazy concept. What a crazy, weird, bonkers concept that is. That's just.
No, I have thought about a couple of the games that I've done, putting them out for sale because, I kind of realize I'm not going to play them.
If you know for definite, you're never going to play them.
That's why I haven't sold them yet.
You haven't hit the sweet spot, or you haven't sold them yet. Yeah, because I
haven't sold them yet. I've sold some.
Do you regret selling them and think I shouldn't have got rid of that?
There's a few that I have and I've reacquired, but most of them I have not.
Pointless then, isn't it? I rest my case, my love.
I would say out of the ones I've sold, I've only reacquired probably maybe 10% of them. So in the grand scheme of things, I would say I definitely got rid of and took care of that. Now they were replaced with other games, basically. So I used generally when I sell them, I use that money to buy
one out, one in sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I can understand that if there's any games that you definitely know you wouldn't play. I'm not that experienced gamer stuff yet, and I haven't played all these, but there's no game I'd go, I'll get rid of that. Have you, Dave, got rid of any games because you know you're never going to play it again? What a weird concept that is.
We moved one time and I got rid of several games, and sometimes I think, man, I wish I had that game.
Yeah.
But the one that I regret the most getting rid of was called Ace of Aces.
Yeah, the books. Yeah, my dad had that. Yeah,
they were great games for two people, right?
They've reprinted them, I think.
Have they?
I think so, because Dan was going on about that. We got them.
I see them on eBay. Noble Knights got them too. But they're quite. Sometimes they can be quite pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's when I moved down here, I got rid of my collection. I had over 500.
You got rid of hundreds,
but that's considering, games and then expansions. I consider that a game. So I had like 500 things. We'll just call it 500 things.
Right.
So, I mean, I had all the third edition or second edition Arkham Horror stuff. You can't pick that stuff up now for under like $100 for one expansion. And I'm like,
and it's such a better game than,
I wish I would have kept that stuff. There's so many things I say, God, I wish I would have kept that when I moved down here.
What you should have done is got some storage down in Florida, just to put it in there for a couple of months while you sort of let your brain settle before doing the knee-jerk thing, selling it all. Then you could have had a...
Well,
You might
I
not
think we talked about this, but we decided when we were moving, we were renting a pod, and whatever fit in the pod went, and whatever didn't fit in the pod was stayed in Ohio.
60-foot pod. That's all I can say. I feel you. I feel you.
You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
there's so many
I know.
things. Dave, is talking about. Oh, I wish I would have kept this. I'm like, yeah. There's some stuff now I wish I would have kept. So
does it wake you up at night and you go, where? I missed you. I should have got rid of it. Yeah.
No, but I mean, I had to rebuy all my Thunderstone.
Yeah, you did. You
Thunderstone Advance.
Yeah.
And it cost me like twice as much as I originally bought it all for. So
yeah, I know, it's crazy. Crazy.
But I'm going to hold on to it, and then I'll sell it for double what I bought it and what I bought it for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm terrible because I'm, it's all new to me. It is
the rules of. I mean, let's be honest. All right, so wargaming is a commitment, right? It's not just I just feel like playing a war game type. You have to actually be in the mood to do it. You have to have the drive to do it. You have to have the.
And they must be,
especially when you're a YouTuber and you're recording it and broadcasting it out, and you got all these fancy lights still sitting on your desk here just so you can get the lighting right. Yeah, you got it up there.
Yeah, you've got to have the lighting. That's the one thing. If somebody says, "What do I need to be a YouTuber?" It's lighting. And I've got this one, and I've got another one for over here as well, which is a sort of LED about so big. So it lights up both sides. And if I'm using Plexi, I can't have the lights I've got on now.
Right.
Yeah, that's
glare.
That's the biggest thing I hit is the Plexi. It's got overhead lighting, so I got to change that too.
Yeah, these two lighting things can be moved about to minimize that. But that's the biggest thing. Somebody said, "Is it the amount of games I've got? Is it no? It's your lighting, because if that's not right, you're not going to get a good video." That's my tip, as I sort of from what I've found. But yeah, I can't imagine getting rid of anything. I think
I'm going to be getting rid of some stuff. I mean, not just some stuff that I bought that I thought, oh yeah, this like
Atlantic wall.
Huh?
Atlantic wall.
Like some of the stuff that I bought thinking, oh yeah, I'll play this because it was great back in the day, like Tank Leader, Desert Steel, Atlantic Wall.
Yeah, that's only got. I think that's a 2 mapper, isn't it? Atlantic Wall with the 300 count.
8 maps.
I just wonder how much, Jester, you'd really enjoy it if you actually did have the space. I think you would really get into it if you could have some setup.
It is a big change from what I used to do.
Yeah. I think that's
huge.
Yeah.
I used to have in my den. I had set up 3 computers, and I had 2 tables up there, plus a TV, plus a chair, a lounge, a couch. I had everything. Now I don't have.
And I can understand that. I've never had that. So if I had it and lost it, I would be bitter and twisted as well. The thing is, with the missus, she knows how much it is worth now. Doesn't matter how much I kid her, she knows how much this is worth. So she's thinking, okay, fair enough.
He kicks off.
Just bide me time, and that's a holiday in a new car. Yeah, that's great. So it is crazy, isn't it?
Like you said, the other thing is you play a game, you don't enjoy it, you try something else and you don't enjoy it, and then you're beginning to. You kind of had this bad attitude going in, and you play a third game and you don't like it. So then you're like, okay, I need a break. I need to
play some Warfighter. Play some Warfighter. I'm going to.
I've actually, if it wasn't underneath,
you've got all your games that you don't play underneath.
You see it? It's underneath all those boxes. So the only way I'm going to get it is to undo this whole shelf right there.
Oh, Atlantic Wall strikes again.
Yeah, literally.
The wall is causing me to not. I've actually wanted to. I watched you and Blue doing your thing a month ago or whatever, and I was like, oh man, I need to play some more.
I'm going to play some next year just to refresh and just.
It's going to be on my list of top 10 things.
Yeah, just because I love it. And it's
I think my top 10 list is that I'm going to play are the games I want to play, not my shelf of shame.
We're going to start thinking now. I'm going to prep ahead of time so I don't make the same mistake.
Speaking of top lists, how about we get onto the topic?
Oh,
hey, nice segue, Jester.
You like that?
You're a professional, sir.
So I don't forget, I keep scrolling up the comments. Let's put Bronze up because he's the one that put it in the chat. So I want to make sure we get it in the chat. So he has target for today. Lamps are going out. I have that and want to play it. Mrs. Thatcher's War. I think me and Ralph are like thumbs up for that one. Interceptor Ace and Raiders of the Deep.
Yeah, let's have a look at these.
Yep. Okay, so now let's see here. Let's see how this goes out. Okay, so I have David Whitehouse.
Yep.
He has Flying Colors, MBT, Silent Victory, Dave.
Yep. Okay.
On that one. The Dark Summer.
Yep.
And Cataphract.
Yep. Oh, I've got most of them.
Cataphract.
Cataphract. Okay.
Yep. Private Public, who had to leave, but he did send me his.
He's from down under. Funny time.
They're those weird people. Yeah. They're just going to work now.
Yeah, man, it's hot over there now. What's going on?
Anyway. Yeah, that's weird. Fleet Commander Nimitz, Fields of Fire.
Yeah.
Great. I got to get that one out. That's all going to be on my list. Enemy Action Ardennes.
Oh, everybody rates about it. It's so expensive, but
I'm waiting for the Kharkov one to come off because I come out. I want to see that one. So I'm not a huge bulge. I got enough bulge games. I don't need another one.
Yeah.
The Dark Valley.
That's a big
and
one,
D-Day at Peleliu.
Yeah, I've got them and I play them when nobody's watching because
because of the colors and stuff. But they're cracking games.
Great games. They are great games. Yeah.
William Bird.
Well, we would debate that, but go ahead.
All you did was play Omaha. Peleliu is like the tip. Like they built up each one.
Yeah,
so Peleliu is kind of like the final. It's not the first symphony. It's like after they've tried out stuff. Yeah.
Arawa's not too bad, but Peleliu they say is the better. Yeah. That's fine.
William Bird. He has Raiders of the Deep.
Yeah.
Thunder at Dawn. Night Fighter Ace.
Yeah, I've got to get those.
Yeah, yeah. Like you've got a lot of room for that there, Ralph. You're like,
I'll find room. Don't you worry.
The White Tribe.
That's another Arben Madison one. Yeah,
and Agricola Masters of Britain.
That's Hollenspieler.
Yeah, that's Hollenspieler. So, and then I have Charles Latour. He's got Across 5 Aprils. Panzer Battles. Rostov 41. Rockdam Rhine, which is a canvas temple, and the Bitter Woods.
Oh,
right. Oh, very different
pretty serious games there.
Yeah. And Cross 5 Aprils is an older game, so it's nice to see some of the older games get put out. So definitely. So that's really cool. And Bitter Woods is an older game too. But I think
there's been a deluxe reprint from Compass for that one. Yeah. Or designer reprint.
Oh, see, Heathwell sends me a link. Okay. Jeez.
That's Heathwell for you, you know.
Yes.
Wow. You see?
So here we go. He actually had a blog about it, so he just sent me a link to that. So his number 5. What he's got: Helsinki 1918, which is the German intervention in the Finnish War.
Is that a coin game?
No. That's it looks like there's blocks. It's more. It looks like it's kind of a Euro war game.
Oh right, okay.
Then he has the Dark Summer, Normandy, 1944.
Yeah, that looks pretty playable and easy to learn, actually. Yeah.
Battles of the French Wars of Religion, 1562 to 1598, in 2 volumes by Shock and Faith, and the Fate of, is it Readers?
I don't know. He does these weird and wonderful games, He does these obscure things. Which is
Dawn of Battle. And then No Judgment, Heathwell, No Judgment on the Euro War game. No judgment.
No, just I've never heard of it. It's all right.
Yeah. And then he has the Battles of Pryden, heroic comic in the Dark Age of Britain. Oh, that looks like a good topic. 450 to 650 AD. That could be interesting.
How does he find these?
I don't know. Now, the Dawn of Battle is probably, and the Dark Summer are the 2 that I know. And I have seen that. I think I watched him do the Battles of Helsinki. I think I watched him do that.
I've got to check that out. Right.
Yeah. So, thank you, Heathwell. That was really good.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Mike Berticelli.
Oh, this should be fun. Go on.
Ruff's favorite game that he loves.
Oh, no need.
Atlantic Chase.
Yes. A game me and him where I was videoing and he was helping me out, which is Long Street Attacks. Great game.
Well, I've got to play the other one. That's the other one I've got to play. It's not in my list.
Last 100 Yards. Which I'm still iffy on. I'm watching that and seeing if I want to even attempt it. That's another tactic. I don't want to add another tactical game. It's like
you can never have too many bloody tactical games. I've got the Pacific one turning up because it's a standalone one because I missed out.
Okay, the Solomon. What is it? The Solomon? Yeah.
I think so, Solomon Islands.
Wing Leader.
It was all right. Yeah.
And then he's got Downfall, which I know he's play tested. He was play testing.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Great film, by the way.
I'm surprised he didn't put Tank Duel on the list.
He's probably sick and tired of playing that.
Yeah, it's his own game, that's a little bit in it. Look at me. I can see why not.
Okay, Fred. Fred's got some good stuff here. Top 5, 21. BCS, Panzer's Last Stand.
That's one of
Blues. Yep, yeah, Tweezer, love that one. Yeah. Probably the only lock and load tactical I'll get. He got the Falklands. D-Day at Peleliu again, so that's a repeat. Fields of Fire.
Yeah.
And Combat Mission, Last Blitzkrieg, PC game.
A what game, sorry?
It's called Combat Mission, Last Blitzkrieg. It's a PC game.
Oh, PC. Right, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you meant it was a DC game. I thought, Batman? What are you talking about?
If you can get it to work.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, Mo,
Jerry,
how you doing?
Oh, hey, Mo. Good to see you.
Get your top 5 games you played this year and zap them to, or put them in the chat, or zap them to Tony. We're going through them. It's quite interesting, the variety of games.
So we should probably just mention it real quick.
Go on.
Whiskey Charlie over on Mo's Gaming Table is having a Christmas special coming up next weekend. So be sure to go over there, subscribe, and check it out. They're going to be giving away games because, of course, they got to copy what we did. So check them out. Whiskey Charlie. They're trying to be the War Room wannabes. Go check them out.
Now they need to reach. Remember, they've renamed it to the Two Marines and the Crocodile Hunter. So, okay. So I've got Jerry White. He's got Company Commander Europe and Pacific.
You know what? Sorry, I've actually gone and ordered that. The original one because there's a solo thing out for it, a fan-made solo thing for it. So. Sorry.
Also playing Blue and the Gray quad with folks online. looking at and playing to learn Tank Duel, and also playing Ruff's favorite game.
Atlantic Chase.
Yep. He's also playing War Thunder online. The students in my school love that. Like, that's like they legit spend real money on that game. Like,
Right.
it's ridiculous how much money they spend on it.
Downloadable content. Oh dear, dear. No.
He's saying he's using Vassal and TTS for all his war games, which is great. That's what it is. So
if that's rocks, floats your boat, great.
Yep. Okay. And John Haley, GBOH Alexander.
Waiting for that to come out.
GBOH SPQR.
All right.
Boy, he's got the acronyms going on here.
I guess.
OST Stalingrad expansion.
Yeah.
Jester, did you play that this year, or was that last year you played that?
Last year.
Last year. Yeah.
I'm going to add the acronym because he didn't have it on this, but the SCS Rostov 41.
All right.
And then TCS Ariete. So
all right.
I'm trying to learn how to speak the Italian way, the Italian names, since I'm doing the No Question of Surrender, and they're mostly the Italian. So I'm trying to learn how to properly pronounce them.
You have to do the fingers. Hey, I'm walking here.
So that's the emails I've gotten. Blue Tweezer's in here. So he's last stand. His game, he said, if you watched his video earlier, you know what it is, and we mentioned it, which is Panzer's Last Stand. Versailles 1919, which we are currently playing with him.
I'm enjoying that. Yeah,
I really am too. I've actually talked to my school into letting me get a lesson plan on it and start getting some volunteers to help me out with that, student wise, to play it. Ruff's favorite game again. I figured that would be on quite a few lists this year.
I tell you what, get your glasses ready. I love that game. Oh dear. Sorry.
Okay. Fields of Fire.
Yeah.
And The Mission, which
you did
really good. He videoed that one, and it was nice because each one was like 15 minutes.
He's had Ben Madison on his channel talking to him. Maybe we should get Ben on and have a chat. Yeah.
Stigler just threw this one in there. Down out front, the North German plan, Flat Top, Death Valley, and the Last 100 Yards. Ooh, he pulled up. I wasn't expecting the Last 100 Yards.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Here's what I find extremely, extremely interesting. About 4 or 5 months, about in the middle of this year, we did a poll on if you can only keep 10 games, right? And our number one game and number two game that everyone would keep was SPQR and Men of Iron. That was the number one game they were going to keep on. But yet, nobody mentioned that except for, I think we had one SPQR played this year as their favorites. So that was very interesting, I thought.
All right, girly swap, stop it.
Okay, so Gareth threw his in real quick. Old School Tactical, Warfighter Modern, Times of Crisis with Rust. That's the expansion.
Yeah.
Yep. Men of Iron. There we go. And the TCS. I'm assuming that's TCS. Edison's Ridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's Dave, I know you sent them to me, but why don't you, since you're on here, so why don't you go ahead and tell us your 5 games?
It's okay because I changed one of them anyway.
Yeah, I saw him scribbling. Yeah.
You want to do them all, or do we want?
Yeah, let's just do them all. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do them all.
So, Fleet Commander Nimitz was one that I enjoyed. It's a tough game when you're trying to play the whole campaign. You got to get through 1942. I think after that, then you can start to, everything starts to mobilize for you, the production and all that stuff, and you can overwhelm the Japanese then. But you got to get through that first year, and it's brutal that first year with the Japanese. I had Fields of Fire. That was a tough game for me, right? Learning how to play it. I want to go back and do another video on it. I think when I do, I want to go to Korea and see if we can get that one. I want to go through that playthrough again. I learned a lot of tactical things that I should have done different playing it the first time. So now I want to go back and try it again with what I learned, and also trying to make sure I keep up with the rules. Next was Zero Leader. So I really liked that game. They made some really good improvements on that leader series, going from Corsair Leader to Zero Leader when they added more things to the dogfighting of the.
Oh, right.
Stuff.
Okay.
With the damage now, the planes were more robust or less robust and more maneuverable. So by adding that, it added another level to that game, and I really enjoyed that when I got that one. Then, of course, Tank Duel was fun. I just had a blast with Tank Duel, even though it's just one of those games where you just want to sit down and just play it, right? You don't have to think a lot. Once you get the robotic going and just follow the steps. But it was a lot of fun. I used to play a lot of World of Tanks on the PC. So, it's that whole tank battle thing, shoot and kill. Yeah. You don't have to have a whole lot of strategy in this one. It's a matter of hoping you hit them first. So I like that one. And then I think the one that I probably played the most this year was Combat Volume 1 from Compass.
You're the reason why I have that game.
and Volume 2 is coming out. They said in January, and I already got it on the list to come.
Yeah, I've got it pre-ordered.
It's on my want to play, that and Enemy Dudar Ardennes and the Kharkov. They're just crikey bonkers money. But I'd love them. But
the combat, the replayability's there because they have the dummies in there, and you do that random draw, place everything. You don't know what's there. I mean, you know what the mission is. The missions aren't that different going from one to the other than the terrain changes a little bit, but it's all about, you don't know if what's moving and what's up there is really a soldier or not.
Does that make that interesting enough? If you say they're very similar scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, the first one's like capture the farm, then hold the farm, then the next one's capture the hill, hold the hill, right? They kind of did that where, if you think about it, your mission is you go out and you capture this, then the counterattack's coming, so you got to hold that off, but they add different things with different levels on the enemy soldiers. And I think in Volume 2, they're adding vehicles, and they're adding another squad. So now you're at the platoon level instead of just the squad level. So I'm looking forward to that one too. So that's my 5.
Yep. Nice one. So Craig Robertson sent his games in, so we'll do a brief intermission with that one before we move on. He has Wings of Glory, ran a big game, 10 players at Pacificon in September. Wow, that had to be fun. Right, I do Wings of Glory at school, and I've only got 4 planes, and it's usually 2 Hurricanes versus 2 ME-109s, and the kids love it. It's fun. It's easy. I can teach it to them in like 5 minutes. It's really good. So that's good. World of War 885. Currently working on a scenario set in Siberia using the winter maps. Oh, that'll be interesting. Shadows over Normandy, Cthulhu and Nazis. Count me in. I've heard the Shadows over Normandy, and there's another one, Heroes of Normandy. It's like the movie version of it. It's like the Hollywood version, but it's a lot of fun. Panzer finally got the basic rules down. Really happy the 500s went through. Ruff is still recovering from getting all of those.
I couldn't have just tweaked them out, one a month or something, or one every couple of months. No, bang! I've just got number 4 as well.
Yeah,
so, I've got the lot.
And a man after my own heart, ATS Basic Game 1. He has a large collection and is unplayed for years, and it's time to get him back into it. And so I think I've pushed him into that.
Yeah, make sure. Oh, if he's obviously subscribed, then so I won't do your advert.
Yeah, make sure you get as long as you're make sure you get on the ATSFE website or the YouTube channel. Okay, Rough or Jester, who wants to go?
Shall I go? Will you go?
Okay, go ahead, Ruff.
Very different. And I do agree with Stigler about this top 10 games you want to keep and all that. Because look at the top 10 games I was supposed to play this year. Didn't happen. But anyway, moving on because things come in. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6. That's not good, is it? Hold on.
You can have an honorable mention.
All right, I have an honorable mention. Right. So, and they've got to be played this year, yeah? That's the rules, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so.
Not released this year, played this year.
No, played this year, right. Well, that's good. Atlantic Chase is top of my list. Fantastic game. Just blew me away. The mechanics, I know it's not for everyone. I know Mo, it's not. He doesn't like it, but it's just the mechanics are so different. And innovative and brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I'm sorry, I haven't completed it yet, and I'm not going to do it, I don't think. But this game that little Tony sent me all the way, and I'm so glad you did, because this is a cracking game as well.
I knew you would like it. So
brilliant, yeah. I know it's very procedural because it's a solo game.
We'll get to it.
I love everything. Anyway, yeah, cracking game. I would recommend it. It's very procedural, but even within that procedure, things come up and knock you for 6. Yeah, so it's great. Another solo game, and he's in, and it's not just because he's in the chat, and I'm not asking. Wolfpack. That was brilliant. Played it with the guys, and we had a great fun. And I'm looking forward to playing it solo when it comes out. On the P500. The other one we played as well with Tweez, Fields of Fire. Fantastic game. Thorough. And I think we're the only people that I know of, I could be wrong, that we've actually played it as a 4-player. We all took different squads, different squads. Platoons, beg your pardon. All took different platoons and did our thing. Fantastic. I've never seen it played like that, but it was great to see Tony get blown to smithereens. It really was. Yeah.
I deserve that one.
No, but the other thing is, of course, I've never seen anybody pick so many sort of choice cards. He's crap at rolling dice, but choosing cards, yes. But
that's why I got to get it to the table. I got to see if that still works.
but that's the point. That's the point. Yeah, it's a solo game, and you play it on your own. It's a cracking game. But we played it with 4 people. We played a solo game with 4 people, and it was one of the best experiences we've had. We had great fun with it. So, yeah, thanks, Tweets, for that. Fields of Fire. And the last one, it's again with Tweez doing our stuff. Men of Iron, Death Valley, Men of Iron, Crunchy Death Valley. I think I'd have to go, because I don't know it as well, I think I'd have to go with Men of Iron. Mind you, I beat him at Death Valley as well. That was great. Last minute push to the farm. But Men of Iron, yeah, love that. So that's my 5. And an honourable mention, which hopefully we'll put right for next year, is World of War 85. So there we go. Thank you.
So Stigler put up most disappointing game of the year. I'm afraid Jester's most disappointing game is going to be longer. It's going to be longer than the top 5.
I got a list. We can do that. We can do it.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Just sit and twiddle my thumbs?
I guess so, because you love everything. So.
I love everything. Right. Cheers.
But there's got to be something that you were like, it wasn't quite as what you were. I mean, you could still like it, but it just wasn't quite what you expected. Nothing ever goes 100% that way. So
yeah, okay. I'd have to have a good think.
Good thing, yeah. So Jester, let's do your top 5. Not your most disappointed, but your top 5 games.
All right, my top 5 best played War Games of the Year, and even though it was my most disappointing year yet,
Get on with it.
I'm going to get on with it right now. You ready? The game that I think Ruff claims that he loves so much, but whenever we do these lists, it's never on it. I've never seen him actually play it, but he keeps buying it and telling me how much he loves it.
I know.
Panzer Grenadier Kursk South Front. Once again, not on his list, so I don't know. He keeps telling us he loves it, but
I do. But I didn't play it this year. That's the thing. I didn't get round to have time to play it.
Then you don't love it that much, do you? No.
Because you played it again, and Tony.
Hey, I get it going. So that was definitely on my list. Panzer Grenadier. We love that game. I didn't get it finished, but I got through most of the scenarios, so I thought that was good enough. Second one, it was going to be a toss-up between 80 and Abyss and Colonial Twilight, but Colonial Twilight has got this bad taste in my mouth, so we're going with 80 and Abyss.
I wonder why.
Why? No, seriously, why?
80 and Abyss. It's a great little coin game. It's the first one in the series. Yeah. It's easy to get into. It's easy to set up and play, and you can have a lot of fun. Number 3 just came out this year as well. Well, the reprinted edition came out this year. 1960, Making of the President. I actually played that a couple times.
You like that, didn't you?
And it was almost like back to back to back. I played it several times, and I actually got couple of my other non-wargamey guys that came and watched it. They ended up ordering a couple copies that I know of. So they were interested in it too. So I think it's a great little game. Maybe not technically a war game, but I think it falls in the category. Wouldn't you guys agree?
It's GMT, and that's good enough for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So 1960, Making the President, fun little game. You can play it solo real easy. And it's turns out different every time. It is card, I would say assisted, not driven, but assisted. Then, of course, Lock and Load Digital Tactical. I had a lot of fun doing that this year.
And I know you're excited about getting the map builder thing.
When they do the map building, I spent tons and tons of time doing the scenario / map building in Tigers on the Hunt. I love doing that stuff, creating my own scenarios, my own maps and stuff like that. But it's great anyways. If you're trying to learn Lock and Load, you can pick up a couple modules pretty quickly, and it'll give you all the modifiers and plays really nice. It sounds really nice. It's
get the starter game. It's starter game, $5 or something, or $9.
Yeah.
Now just get the starter
game. Cheap, it's pretty inexpensive, and there's a lot to it. So you can play them over again. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one on my list, and nobody ever mentions this game, but everyone's heard of it. I played this game more than I played any other war game this year. D-Day Dice. I actually played that like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
A lot of people poo-poo this game. Oh, there's not much strategy. Let me tell you, there's a ton of strategy on this game. When you get all the expansions and you get all the extra modules and stuff, you got a module where you got to take your ship through the ocean to land on the beach, and then it becomes kind of a resource management thing. Okay, well, I'm dying because I don't have enough guys, but to get to the next sector, I have to have a certain, unit that I have to have part of my units. And there's a lot of strategy to get to complete each mission. And each mission gets tougher and tougher. There's a whole bunch of different map layouts and different boards and stuff. It is very lightish war game, but there's a lot of strategy built into it. I think people would enjoy it once they got into it and try it out and play it. I think you guys would enjoy it and like it. So D-Day Dice, I think it's a great little game. It's not too expensive, and you can pick up like the whole thing and the 3 main expansions for like $100. So It's not that expensive.
There's nothing wrong
you can
with
play
that.
a scenario in 20, 25 minutes.
Because I enjoy the other sort of game in that ilk. I forget what it's called. Is it called something in your pocket? The paratrooper in your pocket, or
Airborne in your pocket.
Airborne in your pocket. I did the print and play thing. I printed all the other bits and pieces off, and that I did a playthrough a couple of years ago, I think, on the channel for the print and play thing. And yeah, there's not much to it. It runs itself, and it's just fun, you know. So I can quite understand that. They're all talking about Atlantic Chase, you know, saying, "Oh, they've been brainwashed." And I can understand that if people don't like it, and great, you know, and people play games, and I don't get it, you know, and they rave about it. But that's the beauty of our hobby, isn't it? If we were all the same, we'd be blooming boring. But at least it's generating chat, and that's another good thing.
Was that all of yours, Jester?
That's 1,
Okay.
2, 3, 4. I mean, I also have an honorable mention, which I think didn't quite make the list because I'm not sure how I feel about it. But 1919 Versailles, I think, is a really solid game. Looks great, and we're having a lot of fun playing it together. It is a learning game, so it's hard to really kind of, this is a great game or it's not a great game. But we're having a lot of fun.
But we're having fun, yeah. And there's probably lots of
appreciate Blue teaching us and having a good time with it. So,
but it's a game I'm enjoying, but I don't think I'll ever own because it works best with 4 people, and you're the only 4 people I know.
Right.
No, 5 because Dave's here. So 5. Yeah,
of course I know lots of people, but only over the interweb. Only
that's my list.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really hard because like I was going through my list and I'm like, all these games are like really good. Like I only had one disappointment game, and we'll get to it. I think I've already mentioned it
because I can't get that concept yet.
you got to think of something.
I know.
So probably my number one was an experience I had. It's the second time I played it. Was Carthage by GMT. They're actually redoing all 3 of those into one box, or they're making the third one, which is the second Punic Wars, but they're including the Rise of Rome and Carthage all in one box. That's kind of the new thing.
That's not a GBOH, is it? That's
No. It's the Ancient series. It's Ancient something. Yeah.
The other Berg one. Yeah. The other series.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. So the third one's Thunderbolt, and they're actually adding it's the second Punic War, so they have to add the Spain, Iberian Peninsula and stuff. And
take the mic now. Sorry.
He likes that, yeah. So it was it's the second time I played it. I played it with Kev and a gentleman named Braxton. We had a great time. It was awesome. And then surprisingly, Desert Heat came on my list, the Nations at War. I really had fun with that. It was like rolling dice, chucking dice. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had to call it. I'm to the point where I'm like, okay, can I actually complete the goals? If I can't complete it, I'm not going to finish it. So why even bother? I can get something else out. But that was really good. Longstreet Attacks also on there. I really enjoyed that system. Mrs. Thatcher's War. I had a blast with that one.
Right. Yeah, not arguing with that one. Yeah.
That was really good. And then I had to split between 2. So I would probably say SPQR was probably my next one. But the honorable mention was what?
You spent a lot of time on that tutorial.
Yeah, I did.
Right? Yeah.
And my honorable mention would be that 20th Air Force, that solo game that I'm waiting for his new stuff to come out. So I know they're having issues with chipboard. So
you don't send it to the UK or anywhere.
I know. So, but those are my top 5. And honestly, I could add Tank Doodle to that list. I could add, Fields of Fire to that list. Versailles 1919, which I'm really enjoying. It was a good year with that.
I tell you what, this Versailles 1919 is bringing out the worst of us, isn't it? It's showing up in our true colours. All the backstabbing that's going on. It's
but we
well,
have at least.
Here's the thing. We all, me, Tony, and Ruff, were playing very nice, and we're just getting along really well. We're all learning, so we're helping one another. And then Blue comes in, stabbing people in the back.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I can do this.
Everything changed. Everyone's like, okay, now.
It's terrible.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of good games out, a lot of new mechanics. So I would probably throw the GTS on there too. Like that's really, really good. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of good stuff out there. If you just take your time and work on it, there's a lot of good stuff out there. So
I think we should mention Mo posted it. I'm not sure if Tony put it on here, but their Christmas specials Thursday at 7 or 8. I forgot what it was, but 7
I'm scrolling it up. I'll get it up there.
Post that for.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested, head over to Mo's Gaming Table for Whiskey Charlie. They're giving away free games. Hundreds of games they're giving away. Hundreds. Of games.
I think they will send them worldwide. I think Mo said
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Tuesday. I'm sorry. Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, the correct time. Not this weird central time. It's 8 p.m. Eastern.
Tuesday, Thursday, Algiers.
That's British proper time. That is 1 o'clock in the morning. British proper time.
Yeah, you'll be up, Ruff. I know you will. I'll see you on there.
Well, I might be because it's hundreds. You're right, Jessa. Hundreds of games, and they will send them worldwide.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, why do you think they're having it at 7 p.m.? Because they figure Europe's about asleep, so we can start our show now.
I'm going to get a hate mail now from them.
Okay, so I do think we should have a disappointed. Now that doesn't mean the game's bad. It just means it wasn't quite what you were hoping for. And I'll start this one off. So mine was the VCS Salerno.
You did buy a bummer there, didn't you?
That one, like, I wanted to like it. I really wanted to like it because I like the idea of not quite knowing what combat factors you're going to run into. It just really, 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 really just kind of it fell flat. So they're giving away all of Jester's games. Apparently, that's what Mo would say.
I got a whole bunch. I'm sending them. So,
Dave, do you have a kind of a bummer? I don't want to say it's a bad game, but just a bummer.
The one that I got that I only played it for a little bit and put it away was Devil Boats.
You're not the only one.
Why was that? Because some other YouTuber did a real thing on it. Do you feel the same way?
Well, I just thought it didn't hold my interest very long, and it wasn't a hard game to learn because the designer really did a great job of designed it so that as you read the rules or played the game, you learned the rules. Yeah. So it taught you how to play the game. It was a really cool way to design it. But I don't know, there's so much more that you could do. I guess for me, for history in the Solomons in 42, there was so much other naval stuff going on that I don't know. This one just didn't seem to grasp that or didn't immerse me into it.
Focused in too much on the old.
Yeah, it was just. I don't know. I just couldn't get into that one. I
was looking at that one, but it's not, because it's sort of Gregory-esque type game, isn't it? It's
or almost a little bit like a B-17 Queen of the Skies or Target for Today kind of. It's that text-driven, chart-driven type of game, right? You roll on this table, you do this. You roll on this table, you do this, but it just didn't seem to grasp. I just didn't think it gives much depth out of it, and they're they're turning it in. Now they're going to publish like 2 more versions of that game with Schnell boats and something else. There in the English channel. So I don't know. It didn't interest me enough for me to. I'm not even considering those right now.
I want to send it to Ruff, but I'm afraid he's not going to come up with something.
Well, there is something, but it's only cause. Nothing wrong with the game. And the game was sent to me by one of my subscribers with love and cheer, and it's the game I love, and I could play it out the box, and it's Target for Tonight, which is the sort of British version of it, and I could play it out the box, but it's had a lot of stick because it seems to be unbalanced with the forward attacking Germans, which they didn't do at night. They attacked from behind, which makes sense, doesn't it? So you have to download a lot of. There are fan-based stuff that sort of tweaked it. Lots of new tables to make it less likely to get a forward attacking German when you're doing it, and that's what's put me off. 9 pages of errata as well. So it doesn't put me off playing the game because I love the game. I love Target for Today, which I've got as well. I suppose if I'm disappointed in anything, it's going to be something that I didn't buy. It was sent, and thank you. But I have to now. I could play it out of the box, but to make it more realistic and a better experience for me, I've got to download all these different charts and sort the errata out. But
I found the same thing with Target for Today. On Board Game Geek, there was somebody put out a different set of tables for the hit tables because they noted that, and I experienced this the first time I played it. You got a lot of superficial damage hits that weren't. You got tons of them that weren't damaging the aircraft, and the guy actually went back and compared all the percentages to B-17 Queen of the Skies, and he rebuilt those tables to kind of get those percentages back to that, and it worked a ton better after that.
Yeah, and should that I mean, you can play it out of the box if you want to play it out of the box. Yeah, it's nothing wrong, and I love the games, So that if I'm disappointed in anything, it's just that, that, and that's not 9 pages of errata. And I know it's only little bits and words here and there, but come on.
That's a lot, yeah.
Download different tables. It's not major. I don't think it's anything major. It's like, this table we mentioned isn't actually there. We meant to say it was this one, and that sort of thing. It's like, which that's
better. So Hethwell, I could not figure out how to play this damn game. I wanted to, but I could not figure it out worth a damn. So I sold it.
And that's what makes us all different and lovely.
Yep. Stigler in his great solo game.
Oh, get out of here!
We know Stigler's anti-solitaire.
I did get him sort of coming around a little bit to our way of thinking because I like playing both. Because I get a great experience playing a solo game, like you're playing Silent Victory, and I've got that, and I've got to get that out, and the Hunted and Hunters and all that. You get a great buzz and a great narrative, but you also get another great buzz when you play with people. And since this has been my first year of playing with other people, these Malarkey, these Todd, and Blue Tweezers and Mike, and it's been fantastic playing with people. So I get the best of both worlds. You can have the best of both worlds, Stig. And I love playing my solo games, but I love playing opposed as well. Sorry, no, both. I'm greedy.
Well, it's like if you video it, it does happen because you have record of it. But it's like when you go golfing and you have a hole in one, but you were by yourself. Nobody's going to believe you.
Except you. And that you walk away with that and have a great experience, don't you? And it's like playing solo. You go away thinking that was wonderful. When I threw that double 4, oh my goodness me. Yeah.
Okay, I'm leaving it to you, Jester. I'm going to make a request. I'm going to make a request.
Sure, make a request.
Choose
Three
one.
letter thing.
Choose one.
All right. Well, get ready to get your socks knocked off.
Whoa.
Ready for this? My most disappointing game of the year, Fire in the Lake.
Really?
The reason was because I had played Alien Abyss and I also played Colonial Twilight. Then I played Fire in the Lake, being on the coin kick. You know how we talk about I get into these moods and I do these things. And it's not a bad game. It's a great game, right? But for me, it was disappointing because it was just so similar to the other games. There was no real newness to it that it was like, oh, I could be just playing Alien Abyss if I was going to do this.
So what? I can get that.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's a great game.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah.
It's just I played coin, I played another coin, and then I played this one. It was like, well, God, I could just go back and play the other game. It's just
so
like
your
the
advice
other ones.
would be play just one coin game and keep with it. Yeah.
Well, here I'm gonna.
There's some differences. It's all right. There's fine details in my decision that I didn't want to really get into, but with the other coin games, if you go watch my Alien Abyss or Distant Plane or whatever, everything is manageable in the little cubes and everything that are on the board. Okay, with Fire in the Lake, there's a lot more on the board to keep track of, to go, to kind of make your decisions, as opposed to some of the other games. I mean, some of the other ones, you got one or two cubes in different areas. In Fire in the Lake, you're going to have handfuls of cubes in each different region, and you're going to try to figure out what I'm going to do. And it kind of bogged the game down for me. So, unfortunately, great game. I think it's wonderful. Maybe it was just because it was the third one that I used, or third one in the row that I played, that maybe I just felt bad about it. Maybe if I had played that one first, I wouldn't have said that. But for me, finally, because we're talking about disappointment, I had high. I mean, I had high expectations for this because I enjoyed the other two coin games. So my expectations for this were 20 out of 10 going in, and they only ended up maybe going to 7 out of 10. So it's still a great game. It's just my expectations were a lot higher.
Yeah. Well, here's the interesting, because I'm looking at them. It's like pretty much the first 4 games are all pretty similar. They just get deeper. So that's Alien Abyss, Cuba Libre, A Distant Plane, and then Fire in the Lake. Now the 5th one, which is Liberty or Death, totally kind of goes different. There's the battle. There's actually, conflict. There's actually battle going on. So after that one, it seems like people started to change how things went and changed it enough up. So I can see that, especially after playing like Cuba Libre. It's all the same, and those Indian Abyss and Cuba Libre, there's very few cubes, specifically Cuba Libre. There's very few cubes and pieces on that board to get started, just to play. But yeah, with Fire in the Lake, that's a crap ton of stuff on that board.
It just seemed like every card was like, add 20 cubes to the board, and pretty soon, like, every side had like no resources because they were all out of the board.
Yeah, you actually have to start moving them. Like they're not just placing anymore. Right. You actually have to start moving. Specifically the NVA. The NVA, you could get, there's like, I think there's like unlimited cubes just about like magically appear out of a bag. So I got it. I waited because I got the new AI Trong bot. Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was a huge disappointment. Huge disappointment for me.
Yeah, I get what
you're saying. I was so excited because I'm like, oh, now, because they came out with All Bridges Burning and Gandhi with the new AI bot, and they said, oh, people love this. We're going to start doing it in some of the old titles. And so I waited for that to come out with Fire in the Lake, thinking, oh, this will be great because I don't really like to play all the different sides and have to micromanage everything. So I got it, and one turn, 2.5 hours. And I'm like, okay, this is not working. Time to go back to regular mode.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I've actually Braun, I'm looking forward to that one. Banish the Snakes, which is an Ireland one. But I would say there's a lot of work to those bots. You almost can play,
I think the bots are great once you get by the learning curve. But there is a steep learning curve that you need to figure out going into it. It's kind of like Dave with his Tank Duel bot,
yeah.
Right? I mean, once you got into it and you understood it, it really started flowing. But in the beginning, it was a lot to handle. Don't you agree?
Yep, absolutely.
So I think again, there's nothing wrong with the game, nothing wrong with the AI update to it. It's just it takes some dedication to get into it, to understand it and learn it. And if you can do that, it's great.
What are we talking about? I had a comfort break.
Too many beers earlier, huh?
Yeah.
We were talking about the AI bot that came out for Fire in the Lake.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was kind of disappointing for that because I was really looking forward to using that to help me play this game because I was really, like I said, expectations were through the roof. This is going to be perfect. Great game, great system. I love it. And it just didn't live up to the hype. It's it's like a movie. You're really hyped. You see the trailers, you watch everything, and you're like, oh, this is going to be great. You get in line, you're there in the theater, and you watch it, and then you leave, and you're like, yeah, wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. That's kind of how I felt.
Which is why I know you've tried to teach me a Cuba Libre. I think it was. Yes, Cuba Libre, Jess. We had a session. And no, it just didn't do it for me. But I think maybe just play one coin game, and that one is going to be the one set on Mars because it's so abstract.
Me, you, Tony, and Blue should play a coin game, and you will completely 180% change your attitude on it.
You reckon?
I know. I absolutely know.
Well, I played Space Corps, and it didn't dangle me diddlies. So, but then I played Versailles 1919, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Go figure. So another Euro type game. So yeah, I'm willing to give it a go, but I'm really looking forward to that Mars coin game coming out.
Yep.
Just it's different. That might do it for me.
Yeah. Well, we're getting towards the end here. Already we're getting close to that. So let's see, what do you guys got on your channel? So Dave, what do you got planned coming up for your next week? Are you doing more Silent Victory or
I'm gonna run the Silent Victory till I either get to the end or I get sunk.
Yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to do it.
Yeah, I'm running that one. It doesn't take as long as you would think when you think about all the years because there's so much refit time and stuff in there. It eats up the months. So you start moving pretty fast to that. So I'm going to run that. I've got Warfighter out on my other table. I'm hoping the Kickstarter gets here pretty soon with those expansion packs.
I tell you what, I've got enough to last me a lifetime. I didn't do the Kickstarter this time. I've got some of the mission packs and things for the first.
I have a guy on my channel that's been asking me to play the Pacific. He's got it. He wants me to play it. So I think the next thing up is probably Warfighter, and then we'll see what happens after Christmas.
Yeah.
Like Pacific, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the it's just if I showed you what I had, you'd go, I've got two big.
Yeah, I've got one. You've got two, so.
Yeah, I've got two. Yeah, and one's an MDF thing that holds 2,000 cards, and that's
Yeah.
God, dear. But yeah, I think we've got enough.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens after Christmas. See what shows
Good.
up.
I'm looking forward to that because that's on my list for next year to play a bit of that, just to chill out and have a good time with it. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what Mrs. Claus brings.
Yeah.
Ruff, what you got planned?
Well, not going too well, but I'm going to finish it and see how we do, see how near we get. Who knows? The thing with this game is you think, oh no, and then you couple of good dice. You never know. But I can't see it myself. But I'm finishing that off, and then trying to get in before the year's finished, just so I can tick it off. Maybe a bit of Nations at War, at least start it, and then in the new year, the game I sort of showed you a few months back, set in the Peasants' War of
that German one, right?
Yeah, the German ones. The man who designed it just said, "Oh, right, are you going to do a playthrough?" And I think, yeah, he spent 11 years of his life designing this game, so the least I can do is do a playthrough, or try to do a playthrough of it, and see what we can do with that. So that might be coming up. It actually looks quite interesting. There's lots going on with it. It's quite an involved little Euro stroke war game because there is combat in it. So we'll see how we go with that.
And he sent you all the bits and pieces, and so you can
all the meeples and everything. So because you think, oh, I've got to do it. Oh, yeah, I've got to do it. And of course, other things, other commitments, and other things come across. But he sent me a little. Are you going to do it for me, Ruff? And I feel guilty now, so I'm going to have to do it for the next year. So we'll do that for him next year, early next year, after Christmas.
Okay. Jester, you got anything planned? You're going to do some more auto racing, obviously?
I will probably play some more auto racing, but I think I'm going to probably Oldest Stock Warfighter. If it wasn't like at the bottom of my shelf over here.
Get there and get the funny stuff out.
Here's my desk. You see my desk here, and then it's way back in the corner. I got all these things up. I'd like to actually. I'm thinking about actually getting something down and playing because I mean, right, to be good at racing, if you watch my videos, right, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of practice.
Yep.
A lot of practice. You make one mistake in those games and it's over. Right? And you're going 180 miles an hour around a corner, you can't be off. Right? So it does take a lot of time. But here's the good thing for you guys. Right?
Yeah. I know. You're having fun.
Pedals, right? Are not easy on your feet. They're not easy on your feet at all. So a lot of people have like these professional shoes they got. So I think I might just give my feet a rest and try and get something down and play.
Get that Warfighter down.
To see what I can. And then no, seriously, I'm gonna be calling some of my stuff. I'm not gonna do it until the start of the year. So I might be sending some stuff out. So I might just start. As you can see, I've just run out of room, right? So you can see I've got piles. I got everything underneath the desk.
Get rid of that stuff.
I got piles here.
Get rid of that stuff on top of
it's like, look, it's like 2-3 deep over there. It's like, I just don't have enough room. So I need to figure out what I'm keeping and what I'm getting rid of. And then I'm going to play some Panzer Grenadier because
I've got to play it.
Ruff doesn't play it. And
if you're going to ask me what I'm playing,
how he loves it, and it's never on his thing to play. So
actually, in that Beyond Normandy, I've seen a sort of 11-turn, 7-turn game scenario. So I might do that because they've got this really cheeky sort of cohesion rules so that when you start losing steps, things happen. So I might be doing a bit of that, sort of 7 turns. That'd be a nice little one, or 11 turns. I think I can cover that.
You won't do it. You won't do it.
I will. It's on. I've just.
No, you won't. No, you won't. By the time you get around to playing that, there's going to be 3 other things on your list to play.
I know, it's terrible. I don't know what to do. Help me. Now you just got all that Panzer stuff. You're going to do that? Yeah, I'm going to at least do the standard. I'll get moaned at. Kevin moaned at me. He said, "Why are you playing the standard rules? Like, play the blooming advanced rules, you wuss." But I might play the basic rules to do it.
I think it's one of those things. Once you play it once, you'll be like, "Yeah, I need to add more to it."
Yeah, I'm going to plop this in. Yeah, so we'll see.
What do you got coming up, Tony? We didn't actually hear from you.
I am going to continue my no question of surrender. It's a nice 5-turn scenario, 6-turn scenario. I've already got 1 turn done. I kind of put it out there to see if I messed up, and nobody's commented that I did. I even posted it on the GTS.
I saw the beginning of the one video. I messed up. Please apologize. I tried to fix it when I realized.
I turned off. I went, "Oh, he's crap." Right, I'm not watching that.
I'm like, "Oh, unsubscribe."
So, no, I did fix a lot of the stuff I caught, because it's like you have there's the range, but if a guy is adjacent to him, that range is now 1. They can't fire at anybody else, and so I missed that, and so I oh, this doesn't matter. So
look, he's in the chat.
Who?
If that's the man, is that the man?
The old chestnut?
No, Jerry White.
Great show, guys. Just told about you a bit ago, and LinkedIn will be watching whenever I can.
Is that Jeremy White? Is that Atlantic Chase? Is that Atlantic Jerry White Chase?
Oh my God! If it is, I think Ruff's going
to have a heart attack. We're going to watch Ruff's head explode.
We are not worthy. But great, if that is you, great to see you. Great to see you. If it's not, welcome aboard. But wow.
Hey, that old chestnut's good to see you, though.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Yeah. So I will be working on that some more. I put it up there to see if I'd get any comments, to see if I needed to correct anything, because, I put at the end of the video that
it's not. Yeah, he speaks very highly of you, Jerry.
Yeah. But nobody's commented, so I guess I've done things right. So I'm just going to continue on until somebody says I've done something wrong. But I'm enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. My the 132nd Regimento just got suppressed like all crazy because of the minefields. So it's a lot of fun.
It's just got a regimentoed. That's what happened to it. You got a regimentoed.
Okay.
Are we not having a show next week then?
No,
it's all right, Jerry.
Not as if we've got planned, but if things change, we'll let you know. We'll let us know. Okay, we'll send a note out on that. So
yeah, stay tuned on the Facebook. Maybe, probably if we could do something, maybe Sunday, maybe.
Yeah, Boxing Day for sure. Yeah. Nothing on Saturday for sure with Christmas. That being Christmas.
All right, I'll let you off. My head won't explode. But
we want to see if Ruff's head explodes if we miss the weekend.
But if we can do Boxing Day, yeah. Everybody's fed up with Christmas by then. Yeah.
If you have the weekend off, and then we'll see how the wife interacts with him. It's like, hey, see, you can do it.
Last year, Saturday was Boxing Day, and we did a show.
You done? So if Ruff's heads explodes if he misses a week. Otherwise, he'll come back in 2 weeks and he'll be more in love with everybody.
Yeah, see, old Chestnut's taking the mic now. Look, okay, I'll get him. Look, Jerry. Yeah. All right. I got excited. All right, I'm sorry. But Jerry, you're welcome. Sorry.
Yeah, welcome. Oh, by the way, the show usually happens on Jester's channel, so I've been covering.
I think it does quite well on this one, don't you?
You've covered for the 2 weeks I wasn't here, and even though I was here for both of them.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Okay. Well, I want to thank Dave for coming on. I appreciate it. It's always good to have you on. You were definitely more than welcome to ever come on. If you're like, hey, come on, we'll let you know. Just let us know, and you're more than welcome to. So.
I'm sorry, Tony didn't let you get a word in edgeways. I tried.
No.
No, I'm just a bluff. Sorry. Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it, Dave.
It was great being on again. I appreciate it.
Hey, Steeler fan. I haven't seen him
Yep.
for a while.
Nope. We're getting
Steelers
some
fan. Good to see him
so.
back.
But thanks, Dave. Thanks, Ruff. Thanks, Jester. And everybody have a Merry Christmas here in the United States. And over in the UK, have a Happy Christmas. We got to make sure we say it right. Happy Christmas to you, Brits. Merry Christmas to all of those out there. Happy Hanukkah. Guys, have a safe holiday. When you're out there, celebrate, but celebrate responsibly and enjoy your family.
You, the government, shut up. We'll do what we like, mate. Get out of it.
I just don't want. I've dealt with enough of that already this year.
If you haven't done so already, could you lightly stroke the like button, the thumbs up? That'd be great for tone if you can do that.
I'd appreciate that for sure.
That like button, like Ruff does with his rule books.
I'll rue the day I mentioned that.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
See you guys.